Hey there, Colin Evans with Evans Financial Group.
Hi, and I'm Jennifer Del Coleman.
So today we're going to run through 10 things that you should consider when going into retirement or already in retirement. I think we kind of hit a little bit of both in this topic on this week's segment, so let's dive into it and get into it. So one of the first things is, this goes for our younger crowd. Get an earlier start. The earlier, the better. You know, this is where kind of the magic of compound interest goes into play. And I was in my truck on Friday listening to one of my favorite speakers, and he ran by an example that we've heard many times over the years, and I'm going to bring that example up. And he said, why don't we take two friends, John and Bob, and we give John and Bob the option. And the option is, would you take $3 million today or one penny doubling every day for 30 days? Well, John jumps on. He says, man, I am taking the cool $3 million and I'm going to have $3 million and I'm not going to worry about waiting or whatever a penny does. There's no way the penny is going to increase whatsoever. Well, Bob goes ahead and says, you know what? Let's take the penny and let's let that penny double. And so we start watching the magic of compounding. Day 2, what's he have? 2 cents. Then day 3, he's now got 4 cents. We move that up into day 10, he's got just a little over $5. We move it up to day 20, now he's sitting at about $5,000. We slowly start progressing, and this is where the compound comes into effect. And on day 28, our friend Bob's sitting on $1.3 million. Meanwhile, John's still sitting on his cool $3 million. And as that compounding effect occurs, by day 30, Bob is sitting on $5.3 million. That number started to really ratchet up and escalate, and so that's really kind of the power of what we can, compounding and the power of compound interest. So that's one of those things that can work in your favor.
Wow. Now, another thing could be to define your cash flow. How much do you have coming in and going out each month?
Here's a tough thing, and it's really tough in these days, especially with when we see a little bit of our economic times and what's going on with cost of goods, but spending less than you earn and creating a budget and actually sticking to it. That's a bit of a diligence and something that can be a little bit difficult to do, but it can help keep us from getting into credit cards and things of that nature, which end up haunting us later down the road.
And understand all of your options. Do your research. There are many ways that you can save. So you need to learn the pros and the cons. If you're working, do they offer a 401k or an IRA? Look into Roth IRAs, and there's also personal savings as well.
And off of that note, speaking of Roth, I think we're going to hit that in just a little bit later with the concept of Roth conversions. Calculate risks. You might not want to put all of your eggs in one basket. A simple and easy rule of thumb to go by is what we call the rule of 100. And that is taking your age and subtracting it from 100. So if I were 50 years old and I subtract it from 100, what it's telling me is approximately half of my assets should be in a safe bucket of money, while my other half of my assets should be in buckets of money working for me. So as we get older, if we are talking to somebody that's 70 years old, then they should look at approximately 70% of those assets should be held in safer buckets of money, while maybe 30% of those assets are out there working for them. So it's just a simple rule of thumb and something easy as a guide to go by.
You also want to create an income strategy. Retirement strategies have 2 phases: building assets and using those assets to generate an income.
When we sneak into this retirement time, it's something that becomes a really, really big deal is having a tax efficient strategy, taking advantages of things that can lower those taxes. And as I mentioned just before, we were discussing Roth. What's been a pretty common and popular thing right now has been Roth conversions. And the reason for that is we're still sitting in the Trump era of tax code. So we're still in extremely low tax brackets. So it could be a good idea to look at with your CPA and advisor to look at maybe doing a Roth conversion and converting those dollars now, just in the event that taxes go up in the future. And I think we could probably all agree right now in the way that things are running in our country, taxes at some point are going to go back up.
You also want to acknowledge inflation. As we've all seen going on right now, when you go to the grocery store, we're all spending more money. We're spending more money at the gas station. So you want a retirement plan that does not count for inflation, that could change your lifestyle. You want to make sure that we're able to continue living the life that you're used to living.
And you got to plan for a longer life. Medical advances plus healthy lifestyles can pretty much equal living longer. And you got to think retirement is like a really long vacation.
So lastly, recognize that you might need some help. That's what we're here for.
Over the couple weeks, we have released a ton of content, and you're going to see all that in links below. We've released inflation reports. We've got, will my money last as long as you do? As I can go back and harp on, one of the number one fears in retirement is running out of money. So we recreated a report on that will also drop a link for that one as well below. And then one of our latest ones is, could a recession rob your retirement? I know we've seen some rocky economic times right now, inflation through the roof and skyrocketing and things of that nature. So we actually put all this in this content so you can grab that as reports down below, download them to your smartphone. You can download them on your computer and print those out at your leisure. We'll even stick a button if you want to shoot us a contact, schedule an appointment. You can schedule a Zoom call or even a phone call. And sometimes a second opinion would get that when we have health issues. That can also be a good idea to get a second opinion on your wealth. I'm Colin Evans with Evans Financial Group.
And I'm Jennifer.
I want you guys to have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you soon.